Most men are weak. They crumble at the first sign of adversity, wilting like flowers in the desert heat. Their minds are feeble, their spirits broken, fractured by the slightest challenge. They whine, they complain, they seek the comforting embrace of mediocrity. But you can be different. I see the fire in your eyes, the hunger for something more. Are you ready to become an unbreakable force? Are you prepared to shed the skin of weakness and step into the armor of unwavering strength? This isn't some feel-good, self-help seminar. We're embarking on a brutal, transformative journey, a journey of forging an unyielding mindset, developing unstoppable resilience, and mastering the very art of mental toughness. I'm going to show you how to transform yourself from a vulnerable, easily broken individual into an indomitable force, a man capable of weathering any storm, conquering any obstacle. But be warned. Some of what I'm going to say will challenge everything you believe about being a man. It will shatter your preconceived notions, forcing you to confront uncomfortable truths. Prepare to be uncomfortable. Prepare to question your very core. This path is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who crave true, lasting strength, those who refuse to be victims of circumstance. It is for men who demand to be masters of their own destiny. Embrace the harsh truth. The world doesn't care about your feelings. Listen closely because this is going to sting. Society lies to you. It whispers sweet nothings about your inherent worth, about how your feelings are paramount, about how you deserve a participation trophy just for showing up. This is utter garbage. Society has become a breeding ground for weakness, a haven for the perpetually offended, a sanctuary for those who expect the world to cushion every blow. Stop expecting sympathy. It's a phantom, a mirage in the desert of real life. Picture this and picture it vividly. A soldier deep in enemy territory, his boots soaked in mud, his body screaming in protest. He's got blisters the size of grapes on his heels. Does he stop? Does he whine to his commanding officer about the unfairness of it all? Does he demand a medic and a foot massage? Absolutely not. He'd be dead. The enemy doesn't care about his blisters. The mission doesn't care about his discomfort. Survival, victory, those are the only things that matter. His feelings are irrelevant. The victim mentality is a disease, a cancer that eats away at your potential. It's a self-imposed prison built with bars of self-pity and reinforced with the concrete of excuses. You blame your parents, your boss, the economy, the weather, anything but yourself. Every time you wallow in victimhood, you surrender your power. You become a passive observer in your own life, a leaf blown about by the winds of circumstance. Let me tell you a story, a hypothetical situation, but one I know all too well in principle. Imagine I launched a massive business venture, poured my heart, soul, and every last dime into it, and it failed, spectacularly, catastrophically. I lost everything. Now I could have curled up in a ball, cried about how unfair it was, and blamed the market, my competitors, or even my own perceived inadequacies. I could have drowned in self-pity, begging for handouts and sympathy. But that's the path of the weak. Instead, I chose a different route. I acknowledged the gut-wrenching pain, the crushing disappointment, the sheer terror of the unknown, but I refused to let those feelings define me. I used them. I channeled that raw, visceral energy into fuel. I analyzed my mistakes, dissected every flawed decision, and learned from the brutal lessons. The pain became my teacher, the setback my motivator. I rose from the ashes, not unscathed but stronger, harder, more determined than ever before. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy embraced by emperors and warriors for centuries. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about accepting with radical honesty the things you cannot control, the actions of others, the whims of fate, the inevitable hardships of life. And then focusing with laser-like intensity on what you can control, your reactions, your choices, your actions. Epictetus does not mince his words. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So here's your practical training, your boot camp for building an unbreakable mind. First, engage in a brutally honest self-assessment. No sugarcoating, no excuses. Where are you weak? Where are you making excuses? Where are you playing the victim? Write it down. Confront it. Own it. Second, identify and systematically eliminate every excuse from your vocabulary. I'm too tired, it's too hard, I don't have time. These are the whispers of weakness. Silence them. Third, confront your fears head on. Start small, but start now. What are you avoiding? What makes you uncomfortable? Do it. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then crush it under the weight of your will. Are you a complainer, a whiner, a perpetual victim, content to be tossed around by the storms of life? Or are you a conqueror, a warrior, a man who takes responsibility for his own destiny, who embraces hardship as an opportunity for growth, who refuses to be broken? Are you a complainer or a conqueror? Discipline is freedom, constructing the fortress of your mind. Most men are slaves. They believe freedom is indulging every fleeting whim, chasing every momentary pleasure, scrolling endlessly through the digital abyss. That is not freedom. That is the ultimate form of entrapment. True freedom, the kind that makes you unshakable, the kind that allows you to conquer your fears and build an empire, comes from rigorous self-control, from mastering your impulses, from saying no to the siren song of instant gratification. It's the paradox of power. Only by restricting yourself can you truly liberate yourself. Think of your mind as a fortress, a mighty, impenetrable stronghold. But what good is a fortress with crumbling walls, inattentive guards, and an empty armory? It's vulnerable. It's ripe for the taking. Your discipline forms the strong walls of this fortress. Every early morning, every grueling workout, every refused temptation, every hour dedicated to learning each of these is a brick painstakingly laid, strengthening your defenses against the chaos of the world. Your awareness, your mindfulness of your thoughts and emotions, those are your vigilant guards, constantly scanning the horizon for threats, internal and external, preventing you from being ambushed by your own weaknesses. And your skills, the knowledge you acquire, the abilities you hone, the expertise you cultivate. That's your well-stocked armory. The more weapons you have at your disposal, the more effectively you can defend yourself, the more confidently you can venture out and conquer. A mind without skills is like a fortress without swords, vulnerable and defenseless. So how do you construct this fortress? You build it through unbreakable routines. I'm talking about a schedule so rigid, so ingrained, that it becomes a part of you, an extension of your very being. Sleep. 7 to 8 hours every single night, no excuses. Your body and mind need rest to rebuild and prepare for the battles ahead. A sleep-deprived man is a defeated man. Diet. Fuel your body with clean, powerful foods. Rid yourself of the processed garbage, the sugary drinks, the addictive poisons that cloud your mind and weaken your resolve. You are what you eat, and if you eat trash, you will become trash. Exercise. Intense physical training, pushing yourself beyond your perceived limits, embracing the pain, forging a body of steel. A strong body breeds a strong mind. A weak, flabby man is a walking embodiment of his own lack of discipline. Learning. Dedicate time, significant time, every single day to expanding your knowledge, honing your skills, mastering your craft. The world belongs to those who learn, who adapt, who grow. The stagnant mind is a dying mind. Wake up at 5 a.m. Yes, 5 a.m. While the rest of the world is slumbering in their comfortable cocoons of mediocrity, you will be up, seizing the day, forging your will in the fires of the early morning. Take cold showers. Embrace the shock, the discomfort, the invigorating jolt that forces you to be present, to be alive, to be in control. Do you know what the average man does? He stumbles through life, a victim of his own undisciplined habits. Recent studies show that the average person spends over 3 hours a day on social media, consuming mindless drivel, comparing themselves to fabricated realities, feeding their insecurities and anxieties. They eat processed foods loaded with sugar and chemicals, their bodies slowly decaying, their minds fogged by a constant stream of artificial stimulation. They go to jobs they hate, living paycheck to paycheck, their dreams slowly withering away, replaced by a dull, aching sense of quiet desperation. That is the path of the undisciplined, the path of weakness, the path to a life unlived. Instant gratification is a lie. It's a cleverly disguised trap, a momentary pleasure that leads to long-term pain, a fleeting escape that ultimately imprisons you in a cage of regret and unfulfilled potential. The candy bar, the extra hour of sleep, the endless scrolling, these are the tools of your own enslavement. But delayed gratification, that is the secret weapon of the strong. That is the power to build an empire, brick by painstaking brick. It's the willingness to sacrifice the immediate pleasure for the long-term reward, the ability to endure the discomfort, the boredom, the frustration, knowing that on the other side lies something magnificent, something enduring, something truly worthwhile. Consider the example of General George S. Patton, a man of legendary, almost terrifying discipline. He demanded absolute obedience from his troops and even more from himself. He rose early, exercised rigorously, studied military history relentlessly, and cultivated an unshakable belief in his own abilities. He was known to endure brutal conditions, to push himself and his men to their absolute limits, and to achieve seemingly impossible victories. His discipline was not a restriction. It was the foundation of his extraordinary success, the source of his unwavering strength, the very essence of his legendary command. Discipline is not a prison that confines you. It is the master key that unlocks your true potential, the gateway to your kingdom. It is the force that transforms you from a weak, reactive creature of impulse into a powerful, proactive master of your destiny. Let's be brutally honest. Forging an unbreakable mind, building this impenetrable fortress, is not a weekend project. It's a lifelong campaign, a relentless war against your own weakness. It will demand sweat, it will demand sacrifice, it will demand that you confront the darkest parts of yourself. But I tell you, it is essential, not just for success, not just for survival, but for a life truly lived, a life of purpose, power, and profound fulfillment. So I ask you one last time, with the weight of your entire future hanging in the balance, will you remain a fragile creature of circumstance, tossed and broken by the winds of fate, a leaf in a hurricane? Or will you rise, defiant and unyielding, as the absolute master of your destiny? Think about it, the sheer, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you can face anything. Imagine weathering any storm, any setback, any betrayal with your spirit unbroken, your resolve strengthened. That's the reward, that's the prize. And it's not just about personal strength. Men, real men, will respect you. They will look to you. They will see in you the embodiment of what they aspire to be. Picture yourself, years from now, standing tall, a leader among men, a protector of those you love, a force of nature in your own right. The scars you bear will not be marks of weakness, but testaments to your indomitable will. This is not a fantasy. This is the potential that lies dormant within you, waiting to be unleashed. So I issue you this final, unwavering command. Begin building your fortress today. Start with one brick, one act of discipline, one moment of courageous honesty. Do not delay. Do not falter. The weak will ignore this message. They will scroll past, seeking comfort in their mediocrity, doomed to a life of quiet desperation. The strong, however, the truly strong, will heed it. They will feel the fire ignite within them. They will answer the call to greatness. Which are you?